This is Nick Signor, and you're watching Post to Post Go Blackhawks.
Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. And here I am back for another report card video. This time we're going to talk about the Chicago Blackhawks, and this is a team that I honestly have not cheered for any time in the recent since 2010. I was going for them in 2010. It was a great story. I was very happy that they won the cup, and then they lost me. They were too good for me. I guess you could call me the anti-bandwagon, I guess, because I feel the same way against for Pittsburgh. They just I understand both sides of the argument. The argument that I have that I like to see new teams win, so seeing the same team win over and over again gets mentally exhausting for me. That's one side of the argument. The other side of the argument, which some of you might have, is there's something so special about a team winning all of the time, and creating an absolutely enormous fan base. It's great for the sport. It is. All that stuff is great. There's a balance to both sides of the argument. I understand them both. I'm just on this side, and I like to see a team come from nothing, not from nothing, but come from the bottom and work its way up, like Chicago did. And now Chicago's in the point where last year they did so well in the regular season. They went out in the first round against Nashville in the playoffs, and they had an abysmal season this year. Obviously, some things happened where if Crawford was healthy the entire year, maybe the season would have been a little different. But I think everyone can agree that the season did not go anywhere. Even if he was healthy the entire season, it still wouldn't have gone as well as last season and the seasons before. So Chicago's in a bit of a transition phase. They made some interesting trades last year, which I'll discuss a little bit later, and they're on their way down, which I like, which is a weird thing to say. And Chicago fans, you probably don't like me saying that, but I'm happy that they're on their way down because it makes a better story for me when I get to see them rise back up again. So I'm actually happy that Chicago is doing poorly, and it makes me like them more, which sounds weird, I know, but that's the way my brain works. So anyways, with this series, basically what I do is I go through their statistics from last year, which you'll see on this side, and then their seasonal statistics from this year, which you'll see on this side. Anything marked in green is an improvement. Anything marked in red is not. I am still sick, so I apologize. I'm going to try not to cough or anything and get through this the best I can. I'm also going to go through some of the players and some of their statistics in the season. I'm going to talk about some goalies and then talk about some storylines from the season, positively and negatively, that impacted their season. So starting off with all of these stats here. So league rank, last year they were 3rd, this year 25th. That's an absolutely massive drop. Last year in points, 109, this year 76. 240 goals for last year, 227 this year. That goals for rank last year had them in 9th place. This year they were in 20th. Goals against last year, 212. Goals against this year, 250th. Obviously, or 250, sorry, not 250th. Obviously, there are some reasons behind that I'll get into a little bit later. Goals against rank, 11th last year, 22nd this year. Differential last year, plus 31. This year, a minus 24. Differential rank, 7th last year, 20th this year. Power play rank, 18% last year, 16% this year. Power play rank last year was 19th, this year 28th, almost last in the league in power play percentage. Penalty kill, 77.7% last year, 79.2% this year, so an improvement actually on the penalty kill. Penalty kill rank last year, 24th. Rank this year, 20th. Shots per game last year, 30.6. Shots per game this year, 34.1, which is interesting. They're getting at basically an extra 4 shots per game this year. Shots per game rank last year was 11th. Shots per game rank this year, 3rd in the league. Shots against per game last year, 31.4. Shots against per game this year, 32.8. Shots against per game rank last year, 21st, 23rd this year. And then the last category, faceoffs, 47.5% last year, which got them in 29th place, pretty much last in the league. And then this year, 49.4%, which had them 19th in the league. So an improvement there as well. So you see a lot of red, not a lot of green. It was a pretty bad season for Chicago as far as team statistics go. If we talk about the players individually, I'm going to start from the top of the list is the most point getter, which is Kane, all the way down to the bottom. I don't have all the players here, but I'm going to name most of them. So Kane, 75 points. DeBrincat, 52. Schmaltz, 52. Taves, 52. Saad, 35. Keith, 32. Anisimov, 31. Hinostroza, 25. Seabrook, 25. Sharp, 21. Ruda, 20. And Gustafsson, 16. So it thins out pretty quickly there. Kane, obviously 75 points is still clearly impressive, but that's a little low for him even. He had almost 50 assists. He was in the 20 range in goals. DeBrincat had an absolutely tremendous season, 28 goals, 24 assists, very balanced player. They had three more players in the 20 plus goal ranking. So they have goal scorers on there, but unfortunately the defense was a lot of their problem this year. If we move on to goalies, there's a lot. In these videos I've done the starter and then the backup. Well, in this case, I think they went through 5 or so goalies. I have 4 written down here. So Crawford, 28 games played, 16 wins, 9 losses, 2.27 goals against average, .929 save percentage. Those are great numbers. Obviously, he did not play very much this season, only 28 games played. It's very unfortunate that he did get injured and he wasn't able to play. Their season might have looked quite a bit different, but still not to the caliber as last season or the seasons before, like I said earlier. Forsberg, 35 games played, 10 wins, 16 losses, 2.97 goals against average, .908 save percentage. And then we have Glass with 14 games played, 3 wins, 6 losses, 3.31 goals against average, .898 save percentage. And then Berube with 13 games played, 3 wins, 6 losses, 3.78 goals against average, and a .894 save percentage. So it's quite the spread there in goalies. It's really unfortunate that they had to go through all of those injuries and all of the setbacks and stuff in that. Really unfortunate. So now I'm just going to jump into the notes that I have here. I already talked about Crawford, but Taves. Taves is an interesting topic because I kind of feel like there's completely two sides of the story, and you're either on one or the other. So one side is he won us 3 Stanley Cups. He is an amazing leader. His contract is completely justified. The money that he's making is completely justified. I don't have a problem with him now, even though he's underperforming. The other side of the argument is you pay someone for what they're going to do, not what they did. He's not the same leader. He's not producing offensively where he should be. He should be gone. So I haven't met or talked to anyone who's right in the middle of those two. I'm kind of on the side of you pay him for what he did for you, because I mean, are you really that upset? He got you 3 Stanley Cups, and he was a great leader. Still is a good leader. Is he underperforming offensively? Yeah. Is Kane underperforming offensively? Yeah. Is everyone else on the team except for DeBrincat underperforming offensively? Yeah. So it was a bad year, but I think people are a little more harsh on Taves than they should be. But obviously, he still does deserve a little bit of criticism. The emergence of DeBrincat, I like everything about DeBrincat. I love everything about DeBrincat. He's probably one of my favorite players on the team, if not my favorite. I love watching him on the ice. A 200-foot player, very skilled with a puck. I'm very jealous that Chicago got him and not my team, Montreal. So Joe Quenneville, when I wrote down all of these stats, some of them actually might be different because I think I wrote these down before the season was over. Anyways, Joe Quenneville was, in my personal opinion, he should have been in the conversation to have been let go last year. I think it's just time. for him. I don't think he's necessarily doing anything wrong. I just think it's time for teams to have a change of the guard. I think that Joe Quenneville has been there for so long that it's just been too easy. Not too easy. That's it's too comfortable. It's too comfortable there. They need to spice things up a little bit. Just bring in a new face, some new coaching staff, and have at it. I don't think he's doing, like I said, I don't think he's doing anything wrong. I just think that they need to change it up a little bit. So I would be in favor of actually sending him away. I know he's coming back. I know they already announced that he's coming back, and that's fine. He won you 3 Stanley Cups. He is an amazing coach. You have to give him another chance to rise out of the ashes, and he probably will. But I'm very impatient, so I'd like to see someone else come in. The Panarin and Saad trade, I don't want to say that I told you so, but I told you so, and I just didn't tell you so. All kinds of other people told you as well. That was going to be a trade that Columbus won instantly. That was my opinion. That was the opinion by the majority of the people, and that's what it turned into. I never understood that trade. I don't know why Chicago traded away Panarin. I don't know if it was a contract issue, or I can't remember exactly what it was. All I remember thinking is, why? Why? Anisimov is underperforming. I know he's getting older and stuff, but he felt invisible on the ice this year. Every Chicago game that I've watched, he'd have the puck, he'd do some pretty impressive things with it, and then he'd lose it. And then I'd forget about him. So I felt like he was not himself at all this year. Obviously, other things in Chicago happened too. Hossa, with the unfortunate skin condition that he went through, not being able to play this year, or maybe for the rest of his career. We're not exactly sure if he's going to come back. So that's obviously unfortunate too. To not only have some of your players underperform, but to lose a very important player of your roster as well. The defense seems just to not protect the goalies as much as they usually do. And I'm not saying that that's why they were injured. I just think that when I watched Chicago in the past, in the playoffs, in the regular season, they're always very protective in front of the net, very enforceful, very keeping the players to the outside, away from the goalie, allowing the goalie to have its space. This year, Keith didn't look like Keith. Seabrook didn't look like Seabrook. The rest of the defensive core didn't seem as gutsy in front of their own net, if that's the right word. And I think that translated to their play offensively as well. And even in the neutral zone, you saw Seabrook be a healthy scratch for a couple of games. Keith wasn't the same Keith. He scored, not that he's a goal scorer, but he only scored 2 goals this year, and the last one came, I think, in the last game of the regular season. So he had 2 goals. He's an assist machine anyway, but still, he definitely underperformed compared to a couple of years ago and in years past. Obviously, he's getting older. He's still not that old. He's, 32, I think? That's not old. I'm about to turn 32, so that's a little strange to say. Patrick Sharp is probably retiring. That's the last thing I have on my list. The team did an absolutely tremendous job in giving him a send-away, I was going to say party, but that's not the right word, but a send-away ceremony is not really the right word either, but you guys know what I mean. If you watch if you watch that last home game, you will have seen a very special thing that they did. They played some of his moments on the Jumbotron above, and he did a nice lap at the end. All the players stayed on the ice. Even the opposing team shook his hand and stuff like that. So that was really nice to see. He didn't want to make a big deal out of it. He wanted to keep it low-key. He hasn't confirmed, to my knowledge, as I'm filming this, that he is going to retire, but he's said he's probably going to retire. So very sad to see. Very good player, very accredited, very accomplished player. I believe he has some gold medals in the Olympics, Stanley Cups. He played on a couple different teams. So a very good career for Patrick Sharp. Wish him all the best. Hope he stays in hockey. That's all I have for Chicago. I really feel like they're a team that has that same core in place that could go right back to being competitive with the help of their young guys. So players like DeBrincat are coming up, could really help transition into the new core of the next generation for the team with the help of the current core. So I really do believe that Chicago can be competitive. Again, they're not a team that requires this massive rebuild or anything like that you'll see not be competitive for 7 or 8 years or whatever. They're a team that's going to be competitive pretty quickly, as in next year. I fully expect them to be back in the playoffs. I view this season as a blip. Hopefully Crawford gets his health back and he can stay healthy next season as well. So thank you guys very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I'm going to film some more now as well for the other teams coming up. I believe Calgary's next, so keep an eye out for that in the future. And you can do that by hitting the subscribe button down below if you're new. I would really appreciate that a lot. And hit the bell icon too so you get notified when I upload. A lot of people have said recently that I didn't catch your upload. I didn't even pop up for me in my subscription box. If you click the bell down on by the subscribe button, you actually get a notification via email, I believe. And that way you can never miss a video, and that would make me happy. So thanks guys, I appreciate it. If you did like this video, please hit the like button down below. That helps a lot as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Adios.